Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone. We are approaching the weekend, the second full weekend in January, but also a weekend with a lot of new releases. Eric and I will be off this week, so I wanted to pop in to give you a shout out and a look at a couple of movies that came out at the tail end of 2024 that are now going in wide release this weekend that you can check out. I thought that would be quite a bit of fun. So the first of those movies is Better Man. This one is the biopic on Robbie Williams. It comes from director Michael Gracie, who helped do The Greatest Showman. This was a really fun musical. It has a really unique hook in that Williams' character is replaced by an ape throughout the entire film. Robbie Williams himself narrates this whole thing. There is another actor that presumably plays the green screen double over here. The rest of the cast and the people in here are all played by real actors, but in the case of Robbie Williams, it is just played by an ape. And at first, I will admit that kind of threw me. I was very nervous about how this was going to go, but it really won me over with the story and the depth of emotion. It ended up being a movie that I really enjoyed. I thought it had some spectacular musical sequences and some great production of those musical sequences, something that Gracie did very well with The Greatest Showman. It had a lot of heart and emotion. It opened in limited release on Christmas Day. Now is going out wide. I gave it 3.5 stars. It is in wide release in theaters on Friday. I think it is certainly worth checking out. The next one up is another one that was a limited release in December, and that is Hard Truths. This is the latest from writer-director Mike Lee. And this one is a different kind of story, sometimes a difficult story. That is for sure. We have a pretty wholly unlikable lead character played by Marianne Jean-Baptiste. Her name is Pansy in this. Her character's name is Pansy. She's kind of a bitter and sardonic woman. She berates and belittles everyone in her life, including her husband and her son. She seems paralyzed by the world around her, afraid to go out. And so that kind of makes it a difficult life for her, and she makes life difficult for everyone around her. Her sister, Chantel, played by Michelle Austin, seems to be almost the reverse of that. She has a great relationship with her two daughters. She's effervescent. She runs a hair and beauty styling place. She seems to, really get along with people. These two sisters feel like polar opposites, but they come together in a very unique way. Back and forth. It kind of comes to a head on a Mother's Day where they gather at the grave of their own mother. It brings up some shared memories and trauma, forces them to face some deeper truths about their lives. And when you have a lead character that is totally difficult and very unlikable, very caustic, that is a tough trick to pull off. Marianne Jean-Baptiste gives a phenomenal performance. I actually think she and Austin both should be on the short list for the Academy Awards. Jean-Baptiste could be in the Best Actress category. Michelle Austin would be in the Best Supporting Actress category. This was a movie that really got to me, has a very deep emotional core and some beautiful third act moments. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. It is going wider on Friday. I know it is definitely opening locally here and in Denver, so that is one to check out. The final one, probably an interesting one, The Last Showgirl. It had a limited release at the end of 2024. It comes from Gia Coppola, who is the granddaughter of Francis Ford Coppola. But it's probably most gained traction because of the lead performance from Pamela Anderson. This is probably something unlike any performance you've seen from her before. A very loaded cast. Jamie Lee Curtis appears in here, Billy Lord, Dave Bautista, Brenda Song, Kiernan Shipka, among others. It focuses on Shelley, who has been the star of an old school Las Vegas showgirl review at an aging casino. She's been doing the job and she's been on stage there in this role for decades. Now the show is coming to an end and it forces her to really consider her life, consider some of the choices she's made, consider what she can possibly do next. She doesn't really seem to fit the mold for most of the new shows and jobs that are out there. Kind of leaves her shiftless and trying to figure out where to go. Her friend Jamie Lee Curtis plays a friend who used to be on the show, who left the show and now kind of works as a cocktail waitress in a rundown casino. So she sees what the future could potentially be. She explores an old romance with a coworker who's played by Dave Bautista. She tries to connect with the daughter that always felt like she came in second to the career. That's played by Billy Lord. A very great performance from Pamela Anderson. I think that's probably one of the best things about this film. It didn't always work for me incredibly, but there are some moments that I really liked. I really liked Coppola's visual eye too, the way she captures kind of the contrasts in Las Vegas between an old Las Vegas and a new Las Vegas, and kind of captures the life for Shelley and her struggles and her, trying to find a new way forward and a new way to connect. This one, an interesting story, a shorter story, both it and Hard Truths, right around an hour and a half, which is kind of refreshing. I gave Last Showgirl 3 stars out of 5. It is expanding wide. It's worth checking out for a different kind of performance from Pamela Anderson, somebody that we probably don't think of for some of her acting depth. She really showed a lot of depth here. I think she gives a great underrated performance. That's why she's been a nominee during award season. That may continue going forward as well. Well, as I mentioned, that is just a look at a couple of movies that ended the year that are going out wide. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Nighthawk7734 if you want to keep up with everything I'm watching. I will have my thoughts on Den of Thieves 2 sometime later this weekend, and I will also be reviewing that film for the website Flicksided, so you can check that out. Eric and I hoping to be back with you on the holiday weekend next weekend, but until then, I hope you guys have just a wonderful weekend and have a great time at the